Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to our second game of today's doubleheader of Mount St. Joseph versus Franklin College soccer. We have the men's teams now taking on after the women's match. Mount St. Joseph won 6-0 in the women's match, and so now we move on to the men's game where the starters were just announced. If you had so heard over the PA, is now we'll get this game underway. Mount St. Joseph wearing the yellow, Franklin College wearing the navy blue, as now Franklin gets a head on it, and Mount St. Joseph trying to retain possession. They're going to clear this one out. It's going to go out of play here, and it'll be a Franklin College throw-in. And the Grizzlies coming into this one 1-8. They won their first game a few weeks ago against Heidelberg 4-0, but coming off their last one, lost 6-0. To Hanover, which was about a week ago. So Franklin looking to get back into the win column here. 1-2 so far, their home record this year. So only their fourth home game played this year. Their home match played this year is now they currently hold possession. They're going to kick it across the middle. Mount St. Joseph gets a foot on it. And 11 gets to it. That's Kyle Ibalio. Now he's going to cross it in, tries to get a head on it just a little too much. Now Mount St. Joseph trying to get possession, but Franklin keeps it. They get it to the outside, back in, number 10. That's Bill Levesque. Number 10, now number 6, Lucas Pereira. He's going to pass it around the back a little bit as now Franklin looks to maybe restart their offense as they move the ball up the pitch. Moving quite quick as now number 15 has it. And now ball will go out of play here as Franklin will get the throw in. They're going to throw this one kind of deep into Mount St. Joseph territory as now they try to clear it out, but Franklin nearly gets a foot on it, and now Mount St. Joseph trying to mount their offensive attack. And they're going to kick this one way downfield, and the goalkeeper gets his hands on it, nearly loses it, but is able to get it, and he'll be able to throw this one out. It'll go to the defender, Lucas Pereira. Pereira up. Now it goes to the middle of the field as gets over number 23, Enzo Crivari. And that's going to be a stoppage of play from the referee. Mount St. Joseph a little too much physicality there. And now Pereira will start off on the free kick as Franklin moves up. And a lot of physical contact on both sides, but they're going to give it to Mount St. Joseph on the possession. They're going to call that on Theo Sasso, the senior out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. And for Mount St. Joseph, as they launch this one into the pile, Franklin gets a head on it. Another one. Mount St. Joseph tries to get it back in. Another opportunity on goal here. Franklin trying to get to it, and it stays in play, and a lot of contact there, but the play was stopped before that, and it'll be Franklin possession. And now we'll get a goal kick here. We'll keep it short. And it gets up to Mount St. Joseph. Franklin keeping their marks. Pereira intercepts it. Moves the ball up the pitch. Here goes Trump up the field. Trump leads the team in goals and assists this year. Now it gets up to set. And he loses the ball. That was Ibalo, sorry. 23 is going to launch it over to the far side of the pitch. It's going to go to Sasso. And now the senior launches one of the goal. Goal! Top right ins from Theo Sasso, the senior from Brazil. Sends that one from far out and takes a 1-0 lead. The Franklin Grizzlies having some fun here at Fott Stadium. 5 minutes into this first half. And what a strike from the senior. And now Mount St. Joseph gets it back. A 1-0 lead early for Franklin College. Their first goal in about 2 weeks since their last game, or their last match, sorry, on the 20th. So their 9th goal on the year that was for Franklin is now they're going to move this ball forward, but Mount St. Joseph's defense will get to it first, and the goalkeeper put his hands on it. Mount St. Joseph scored 19 goals this year in comparison to Franklin's 8. Franklin and Mount St. Joseph actually 2-0-1 in their last 3 going into this one. They started the season 0-6-1, so a little bit of a hot streak for them so far going into this one. So Franklin's goal must be a real tone setter for early in this match, as now Franklin gets possession back on the defense, and they're going to kick this one downfield back over to Mount St. Joseph. And so Franklin, 8 goals on the year, 7 of them come in the second half. So that was Franklin's 2nd goal in the season. In the first half is now Ibalo's going to get it. He's going to move it to the outside, but the defender number 3 gets to it from Mount St. Joseph. That's Aiden Sweeney. And we're going to get a throw in here for the Grizzlies. But like I said, only the 2nd goal scored in the first half for the Grizzlies this season, coming on just a tremendous strike from Theo Sasso. And now Mount St. Joseph retains possession after the throw in here. And really good defensive pressure from Franklin. They move it inside. Trump launches it in. It's another goal! Number 13, Lane Trump, strikes another one from center field, and that's going to be another goal. 2-0 Grizzlies. What a start. 6.5 minutes in to this first half. Their third. They had scored 1 goal in the first half coming into this match. 2 now in the last 6 minutes. What a start from the Grizzlies. And that's Lane Trump, who has 2 goals on the season, now 3. Currently their leading goal scorer after Theo Sasso scored his 2nd goal of the year just a few minutes ago. Lane Trump now scores his 3rd on the year. And only their 3rd in the first half of the year. And now Mount St. Joseph moving around the back a little bit, taking a little bit more time to build up their possession. And they're going to launch this one in. Another deep shot. And that one's not going to go anywhere. It'll be a throw in for the Grizzlies. And now the Grizzlies will get their possession back. They move it up to Ibalo. Back down to number 15. That is Jacobo Alarcron, sorry. And that's going to go to the outside. Franklin will keep possession. Nearly went out of play. Now a defender comes close to it, taking his time. Franklin being very conspicuous with the ball here, but they're going to send this one down the pitch. It's not really going to get anywhere, as Mount St. Joseph will give it out to their goalkeeper, but he kicks it out. He kicks it out of play, an error from the Mount St. Joseph defense, and now it's going to be a corner kick here for the Grizzlies. And here comes Sasso to kick this one. Now Sasso launches this one in on the corner. Pereira nearly gets a head on it. Oh, Mount St. Joseph clears that one out. Goalkeeper couldn't get really a hand on it. Another cross inside. Hits the left goal. Hits the left crossbar, sorry. Very close as Ebola gets to it now, and it will go out of play. It'll be a throw in here for Mount St. Joseph. Two really close shots, nearly on the header from Lucas Pereira, and then the other one hitting the left post. And not quite able to get in there as now Mount St. Joseph will retain possession. Nearly a third goal scored for the Grizzlies. Less than 10 minutes in. Mount St. Joseph sending the ball back downfield. Good defense from the Grizzlies. They're trying to get to it, but now Mount St. Joseph on the edge with an opportunity for a cross. Crosses it inside. Goalkeeper is going to get to it. Silva gets his hands on it. He'll send that one away. Go over to the far side of the pitch as Franklin will ramp up their offensive possession here. And now Mount St. Joseph regains possession, though. They have it on the corner, as now Franklin's going to have to head this one out of play, and it'll be a corner kick here for the Lions. So Franklin in the first half this season, in the first half of matches, they have been outscored 22-1 prior to today's match. But 2 goals just 10 minutes in as Mount St. Joseph tries to get a head on it, but it goes out of play. And Silva's going to have a chance to kick this one away. And the Grizzlies coming out, setting the tone early for only their 4th home match of the year. And now we're going to have to look to retain this lead throughout the rest of the matches. Franklin retains possession. They're trying to move the ball up the pitch. Sasso gets a foot on it, but ball nearly goes out of play. Franklin keeps it. Move it upfield. Tries to get it back to the midfield with a through ball. It's a little too much on it. And the referee calls stoppage of play. It'll be Franklin possession there. And they're going to get this one off quick. They're going to try and beat the Lions defense to it. Gets to the outside of number 23, Enzo Cravari. And it's going to go over to Trump. And Trump just can't quite get to it. It's going to go out of play. It'll be a goal kick here. Franklin's going to try and get a head on that one, but it will go out of play here. It'll be for a throw-in. Mount St. Joseph sends this one in on a through ball. They have a chance. The defense is there. Mount St. Joseph sends one, but it's going to go right to the goalkeeper. Silva takes that one. He's going to send it short, but now Mount St. Joseph gets it back. They kick it inside. They have a shot on goal here. Silva gets his hands on it, dives on it, and puts that one away. Now stoppage of play here from the referee as the player comes shaking up a little bit. And that's number 8 for Mount St. Joseph, Nathaniel Knuth. He's running over to the bench maybe to get something fixed. Maybe an issue with his shoe, it seems. And no substitution. We're just going to get the stoppage of play right now, unless maybe they did. I do not see a substitution yet. So now Franklin maybe trying to take advantage. Yeah, only 10 guys on the field right now for the Lions. And now Knuth will get back into play here. Knuth tries to send this one far, but Franklin's defense is on it, and they're sending high pressure as Lane Trump tries to make a stop, but they will say it's a dirty tackle, as now Mount St. Joseph will get it back. A short free kick, intercepted by Abala. Ball gets taken back away. Now 19 from Mount St. Joseph tries to launch it in, but deflected by the Grizzlies. Sasso kicks it back outside. That's number 15, Alarcon. And, oh, they try to get it back out to Alarcon, and he just missed it, and then Ibala wasn't able to get to it either before it went out of play, as now Mount St. Joseph will get the possession back. Refs called against Mount St. Joseph. Now Franklin has possession. In strong enemy territory is now. Alarcon got it, but another stoppage of play may have been offside. And now Mount St. Joseph will retain possession after the offside. Number 20, Michael Smith kicks this one in. And Mount St. Joseph nearly losing possession, having to be a little more careful with it here. Franklin having some really high up defensive pressure. And now they put this one in. Lucas Pereira catches it. Another one intercepted by Pereira. The size in the backfield definitely for the defense has provided a good structure for the Grizzlies today, as now Mount St. Joseph regains possession. And a good play from number 10, Bilovic. And that one will go out of play here. Sasso will throw it in. Or he'll toss it to somebody else, is now. And Sasso's able to get a foot on it after a pass from his teammate from Trump. And now Sasso moving in field. He kicks this one in, and Bala doesn't get offside. He kicks it. Oh, and it goes right through the uprights, but way over the crossbar, and it is not a goal. That will be Mount St. Joseph's possession. And now Mount St. Joseph will send this one away. Gets about to the middle of the pitch, is now they're not able to get it on it the first time. Pereira nearly gets it. Then it gets over to Alarcon. He kicks it back. Silva's going to get a foot on it. He'll launch it. Tries to get a head on it, misses it, but Sasso gets his foot. And we're going to get a stoppage of play now as Mount St. Joseph will get possession. And they get a head on it, but Silva's going to grab that one pretty quickly before it gets too dangerous. After the deep shot from Mount St. Joseph is now the Grizzlies figuring out what they want to do with it. He kicks it to the outside. Sasso back out to the inside. Trump. He's looking for Abala. Doesn't get there, but Trump still has it. Gets the through ball to Abala. He's got it. He's got some space here. Potential cross opportunity, but he's going to cut back inside. He goes for it. Not much on it, and the goalkeeper's going to get to that one pretty easily. And Now Mount St. Joseph will give this one away. And the goalkeeper, a freshman, 6'1" freshman out of Hamilton, Ohio, Carson Sabers. And now Ibala's got it for Franklin. Pereira now, they're going back to the defense. He's going to kick back. A lot of pressure from Mount St. Joseph here. And they're going to kick this one up to Sasso, who's got it. Sasso's got it middle of the field. He's going to launch this one up. Ooh, try to get a through ball over there to Ibala, but good defensive play from the Lions. And Pereira sends this one from the defense. Ibala gets his back on it. And he's got the possession over the Mount St. Joseph defender. And a lot of physical play. Terrible challenge right there from Mount St. Joseph. Took the player down. And that was number 10 who came down on the play. Russell Billow Levesque, who is grabbing at his hamstring but seems to be okay. As now Sasso is the free kick here. Well, from where he launched his first strike of the match, this one's not too far. Clearly for Sasso, as now he's going to decide where this play goes. And he's going to send this one towards the pile. Nothing really there, as now Franklin keeps possession, gets it back to the midfield. Ibala loses it. Good clear out from the defense. Franklin defense not letting the Lions get too far ahead, but now the ref will stop the play and Mount St. Joseph will have a free kick. Just over 20 minutes played now in this first half, nearly halfway. As now Mount St. Joseph tries to mount some offensive strategy here as they get ahead of the Franklin midfield. Nearly loses it to Ibala, but Mount St. Joseph retains possession. And a good kick from Lucas Pereira sends it away. Athletic jumping kick as now Sasso has it. And it looks like that one was lost out of bounds, I believe, from number 2, Lal Tong, senior from Perry Meridian in Indianapolis. Tong gets ahead on it as now Franklin tries to keep possession. Ibala all over the field, gets that one. Tries to get it to Trump, but good interception from the defense. And Trump, with a lot of physical play, trying to get the ball back as Mount St. Joseph will get the free kick here. It'll be number 20, Michael, or no, it will not be number 20, Michael Smith. It'll be number... Drum roll. It'll be Mount St. Joseph on the free kick here. As they send this one away. Can't quite see their jerseys. It'll be number 6 who launches that one away. That's Brennan Lewis. As now Franklin has a chance here. They have some open field. He's going to kick this one ahead. Goalkeeper's trying to get to it. And he does, and he kicks this one out of play into the stands. Maybe 15 feet away from where I'm at. And now Franklin will retain possession here on the throw-in after the goalkeeper kicks it out. That was number 9 for Franklin, Lucas Flores, who made the play on the goalkeeper. As now Mount St. Joseph has possession. They kick it ahead. They have space, and they're going to rule. I believe they're going to rule offsides here on Mount St. Joseph. was number 6, Brennan Lewis, who was caught offside, is now he's able to retain possession for the Lions, but gives it right back. Tong kicks it back out. Pereira gets past his guy, moves the ball up the field, but loses it, and now Mount St. Joseph has some room. Going towards the goal, a challenge from Lucas Pereira. Defender goes down, loses the ball. Good defensive save right there. Right before it got to the goalkeeper. Now Franklin has possession, moving the ball up the pitch. Franklin has some room here, gets to Flores, but ends up with Mount St. Joseph. Now he's going to kick this one ahead right over to Silva for Franklin. There's Sasso. And that one goes out of play. Mount St. Joseph. After the throw-in, a lot of defensive pressure here from the Grizzlies. Ball going back and forth. Abala nearly got to it, but Franklin's defense gets ahead on it. Is now Mount St. Joseph trying to retain possession. Trump gets to it before everybody else, and now it gets to the outside to Alarcon. Alarcon gives it to Ibala. Ibala's got some room on the corner here, looking for a cross. Gets it back to Alarcon. Crosses it in, but the goalkeeper gets right to it. Nobody really in the box there. Easy for Carson Sabres. Now he'll roll this one short. As Flores tries to apply some high defensive pressure, as well as Lane Trump. Gets over there to Nathaniel Knuth. Number 20, Michael Smith in the backfield. And that gets up to Mount St. Joseph, loses possession. Franklin keeps it. Ibala keeps it. And that was a good interception. Michael Smith had a challenge on there, but Evan Esterkamp was the person who ended up really taking that one away. Is now Lucas Pereira will get his touch on the ball. 18.5 minutes left in this first half. Still 2-0 Grizzlies. Scoreless after the first 6 minutes. Mount St. Joseph trying to reply. Franklin's defense holding firms with still 18 minutes to go, but Flores gets a chance up high. He keeps the ball in play for a second, but loses it, and now Carson Sabres will get a goal kick here.
2 out, 5 and 8 coming on.
And now some substitutions here for the Grizzlies.
14 or 15 for them.
And that's Lal Tong coming off the field. Franklin gets a head on it before Mount St. Joseph gets the ball back, and now Franklin's defense applying a lot of pressure up here, not allowing them to get a cross opportunity. Is now Mount St. Joseph still kicks it in. They got a through ball a little too far outside. Is now they kind of have to reset here. Alarcon putting some real defensive pressure on his mark, and Michael Smith kicks this one in, goes over the crossbar, and will go out of play, and we'll get a goal kick here from Hami Silva. And so for Mount St. Joseph, we also have some other substitutions. Evan Esterkamp came out, and that's Derek Rolfes, who came in for Mount St. Joseph, number 14, the junior. And for Franklin, besides Lal Tong coming out, Ibalo also came out for Owen Ott, the freshman, and Mason Tolliver, another freshman, also came in off the bench for the Grizzlies. And we get a stoppage of play here after a player went down for Mount St. Joseph. They'll call it on the Grizzlies, and we'll get a free kick here for the Lions. Now potential cross opportunity inside here for the Lions, and they're going to go, but it goes too far outside, out of play, and Silva will send this one away. Kicks it out to Pereira in the corner. Ball nearly goes out of play. Not quite able to keep it. It's now Mount St. Joseph, number 19, tries to kick it in. And the ball deflects up. Might go out of play, but Alarcon goes down after a physical play from number 19, Presley Boyle. And that'll be Franklin Grizzlies' possession here on what will likely be a free kick. And now 15 minutes left to play in this first half. 30 down. Still 2-0. Last about 25 minutes, 24 minutes have been scoreless for both teams. Both players get a head on it as now Mount St. Joseph looks position. Now Lane Trump, a lot of physicality with number 19, Presley Boyle. And Franklin able to kind of intercept it. Alarcon gets it to Trump, and now 10 gets in. They're going to get it up to Flores. And a deep kick on the other side. Number 10's got a chance, but they're going to give it offside. Very close. Close offside call for the referee. But he may have just been a little bit ahead. And that was number 10, Russell Bilolevec. And a deep kick inside. Pereira gets his head on it, hits the top of the crossbar. Very close for the Grizzlies there. And now Sasso gets his head on it, and Franklin will get possession back. Bilolevec. Flores. And they're going to give it to Mount St. Joseph. Close possession. Both players called it their way. But Franklin's going to intercept on the throw-in before it gets back to Mount St. Joseph. Mount St. Joseph passing it around the back here. Running some clock, which is interesting. They're not really moving their possession forward, as now here they go. They kick it back inside, number 9, Mohid Napre. And Mount St. Joseph really slowly approaching this possession, as now they kick it right to Franklin, and Sasso tries to get it inside. Trump loses it, trying to have a little bit of a fancy touch. The through ball was nearly there, as now Mount St. Joseph on the clear out has an opportunity. Silva is able to grab that one and put it away, though, before the cross opportunity turned into anything else. Jaime Silva, the junior goalkeeper from Ecuador, playing lights out today, keeping everything at bay so far from the Mount St. Joseph Lions. Now they get it inside. They try to get it up to Flores. Flores has a little bit of an opportunity here. A lot of physical play. Gets it around his defender. And they ruled that on Flores, and that's going to be Mount St. Joseph possession. A lot of collisions coming from both teams, especially since the first two scores of the match. And now that ball goes out of play. Franklin will get it right back. And we have a substitution for both teams here. Number 8 coming off the field for Mount St. Joseph. That's Nathaniel Knuth. And then number 11 coming on, Brady Diedenhofer. And number 10 for the Grizzlies, Russell Billow Levesque, came off the field. And they're going to send this one back to the goalkeeper. Sabres will get his hands on it. Now Mount St. Joseph continuing to pass it around the back here. Very interesting now with just 10 minutes left to play in this first half. And the Grizzlies will retain possession. Trump kicks it out to Sasso. Sasso back to Trump. Lane Trump, the freshman from Cascade, Indiana. Midfielder, been their leading goal scorer this year. Extremely fast, physical player. And now no call on the plays. Now Mount St. Joseph will push it up the field. Franklin has an opportunity here. Good defensive interception from the Grizzlies. And now Sasso launches this one ahead for Flores, and Sabres will get his hands on this one. And he's going to launch this one away. And it's going to go all the way past the middle of the pitch. Now Franklin will retain possession, though. Trying to be skillful with it, but ends up losing possession. And a little bit of a shove from number 21 on the Grizzlies, Ali Almahelm. And that will be the Lions' possession. And so for the Grizzlies, when Russell Billow Levesque came out, Cameron Darnold came in for the Grizzlies, the senior defender. And now Mount St. Joseph trying to get it back inside, but they lose ball. Goes out of play, and Lane Trump slow to get up here. Looks like he might have got ran into on his head. Trainers are going to check him out. We'll be right back. And we're back. Lane Trump walked off the field on his own. But we do get a substitution as now the Grizzlies will, or Mount St. Joseph will actually have a throw-in, but near the Grizzlies' goal, and now the Grizzlies will be able to get it away. Get a little bit of space. They get it over to number 17. It's Kelikai Mba. And now it's going to go out of play here, but it will be a Grizzly throw-in. Defensive pressure here from the Lions, but they're going to get it outside. They're going to give it to, or Pereira has it. Pereira moving to the middle of the field. They're going to get this one. They're going to try and launch it downfield, but Michael Smith gets a hand on it, and Sabres will pick that one up. Smith didn't get a hand on it. He got his foot on it, nearly, well, stopping the play, and now Sabres able to finish it. He'll now launch this one away. High kick. And Franklin will get possession. Lucas Pereira commanding his team to keep it back. Don't rush it. And he tries to get a through ball over there to Mba, but wasn't looking for it. And now it's going to go out of play after a foul on Mba. A good play from behind from the Franklin defense, or the Franklin attackers, really, but now St. Joseph will still hold possession. A lot of defensive pressure here from the Grizzlies, keeping the Lions at bay, trying to hold on to this 2-0 lead going into the second half. Nearly gets a handball on it, but Lucas Pereira with another huge interception. Good challenge from the senior. Now Grizzlies still hold possession. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this first half. 40 gone. And that ball will go out of play, but Franklin will throw it back in. Theo Sasso came out a couple minutes ago with the group substitutions at the same time when Lane Trump went out. And Mount St. Joseph kicks that one up before it goes out of play. Franklin gets ahead on it. Franklin with some good challenges. Mount St. Joseph now on the near side of the pitch as they're having to rebuild this offense. And now a chance here, number 16 for Mount St. Joseph moving inside, Sam Schneider. Oh, what a save from Hami Silva, and Franklin kicks that one out. Very close from the Mount St. Joseph Lions, trying to get closer on this deficit. But the Grizzlies hold strong for now, there's going to be a corner kick here for the Lions. It'll be number 9. That is Mohit Napre from Walsall, England. Going to kick this one. And they get a head on it, but nothing there as now Franklin looks to regain possession. And they do. High defensive pressure from the Lions as they get it back, and now looking for a potential cross opportunity here. They get inside. Cuts back in, goes for it. Silva gets the save. And now Franklin gets possession back, looking to keep it. And they get it over to Mba. Mba gets a little space but loses it. Gets over to 21 for the Grizzlies. They got room. Mba ahead. Potential cross opportunity, might cut back inside. Gets it back. Mba trips over. And no call from the referees, and the play continues. And that one goes way out on the cross. Would be a good field goal. No good today. 3 minutes remain in this first half.
Yeah, that game sucks. It was so hard to read this stuff. We're definitely better off. It was a bright blob on a bright white shirt. Great. Those jerseys are actually legal, like, they're not supposed to. Asbury women's jerseys that yeah, those are white on.
And Franklin on the deep kick wasn't really able to get much out of it, but they lost possession. As now Mount St. Joseph, just 2 minutes remain in this first half, looking to shorten this deficit a little bit. They had one chance earlier, were not able to get it after a great save from Hami Silva, and now they kick this one ahead. Now a chance here for the Lions. Because of number 6, Brennan Lewis. He's on the outside. They kick it back in. He gets his foot on it. Not the best shot attempted now. Didn't have a lot of power on it, but now he gets another chance. It's going to go up, and Silva will grab that one before it comes down. Good overall defense from the Grizzlies. And Silva laying on that one. Just to be sure. And Silva will launch this one away to about the middle of the pitch. Flores gets a foot on it. Now it's up to Mba. Franklin might have an opportunity here to extend this lead. Mba not quite able to get to it. It'll go out of play. And the Mount St. Joseph defender is the one who kicked it out. And I believe it'll be a Franklin either corner or throw in here. But another player down on the field there. I cannot see who. So we'll be right back after this quick break. And we're back after the break, and now we'll get a throw in here for the Grizzlies. And Mount St. Joseph will kick out of play. So player came up injured, walked off the field with help, and number 22 for the Grizzlies, Jalen Meganhoffen, freshman from McCordsville, Indiana, coming into the game. And another Franklin College throw in and a handball after the ball bounced up there, and that's going to be Mount St. Joseph possession. 25 seconds and the clock runs before this first half ends. See if Mount St. Joseph tries for anything. And Franklin just keeping possession. 5 seconds left, and the clock will continue to run as we enter the second half. So halftime, a 2-0 lead for the Franklin Grizzlies. 2 goals scored in the first 6 minutes. Theo Sasso with the first one with an unbelievable strike, and then Lane Trump finished it off, and the other one getting his 3rd goal of the year and leading the team in goals. Now Franklin, looking for their 2nd win on the season, had only scored 1 goal in the first half of matches for every game up until this year, until today's match where they scored 2 in the first 6 minutes. So a great start from the Grizzlies. Defense is held up until the end of the half. So now we have 1 half remaining. 2-0 Grizzlies. We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes. And welcome back to the second half of the second game of today's doubleheader. The men's Franklin College Grizzlies taking on the men's Mount St. Joseph soccer team. Franklin up 2-0 in the first half. Only one scored goal in the first half all season for the Franklin Grizzlies. They go into the first half, score 2 in the first 6 minutes, 2-0 lead, stays the same throughout the rest of the half, and now Mount St. Joseph, this one will go out of play, and the Grizzlies will end up getting this one. And Alarcon went down on that play. He's getting up a little slow, but he seems to be all right, as now he'll get the free kick for Franklin. He'll just give this one over, and Alarcon kicks this one in. Number 10's got a chance on it. Ibala didn't quite get there. Lucas Pereira trying to get his head on it over the shorter attacker, and a lot of physicality in the play, and the ref finally stops the play, as now the Grizzlies will get the free kick here. So Mount St. Joseph had some struggles with Franklin's defense. Franklin's defense definitely been much more focused on pressure and really applying that high up so that they don't get too far into their defense. Lucas Pereira has been one of the stars of the defense today, really intercepting a lot of plays, making a lot of really good challenges. And Theo Sasso and Lane Trump were the two who scored the goals in the first half. And Enzo Crivari, number 23 for Franklin, was the two who actually assisted on, or was the one who assisted on both goals in the first half. And now Mount St. Joseph has the ball here. They're going to take it up side of the pitch. Tries to kick it inside, but Franklin gets a hand on it, or their foot on it, and they're able to clear this one out. Good goalkeeping from Hami Silva. And now we get a stoppage of play. And the ref going to the other side here. He stopped the play. Maybe he deemed some foul play from Hami Silva, because it was one of Mount St. Joseph's offensive players who ended up going down, but I believe they may have just Lucas Pereira arguing with the referee. Still not sure why Mount St. Joseph ends up with a penalty. So they're actually deeming he was inside the box, so now a penalty attempt here from the Lions. Brennan Lewis is going to get the chance here to make it a 2-1 match. Lucas Pereira very frustrated with the referees. And now Brennan Lewis gets the chance here on the junior goalkeeper, Hami Silva. And Silva nearly gets the save. He gets his hands on it, goes right under him, and bounces up, and that will be a goal for Mount St. Joseph. The Lions now make it 2-1 early in the second half after the penalty call that a lot of Grizzly players did not like, but they will now have possession here on the kickoff. Less than 3 minutes passed in the second half, and Mount St. Joseph making it a one-score match. And Lane Trump sends this one away, and now Franklin looking to hold their lead. They keep it in play. They're trying to move the ball up the pitch. And Mount St. Joseph kicks it out of play. It's going to be a throw in here on the side from the Grizzlies. Tong is going to throw this one in, sorry. And that one goes out of play, and Tong is going to kick it far out. Wasn't quite ready for the reply pass, and now Mount St. Joseph on the throw in here. A lot of defensive pressure. Theo Sasso deflects that one out. It'll be another throw in here from the Lions. And now Franklin retains possession. Sasso kicks it inside. Lions end up getting it, but they clear this one out. Grizzlies have a chance on it. Not quite able. Mount St. Joseph player stumbles over the ball, and that's going to go out. And they're saying Lions possession on the throw-in. Another call fans weren't thrilled with, but... And a shot here nearly goes in the bottom right corner. Hami Silva able to get his hands on that one, but a near goal from the Mount St. Joseph Lions. And that would have tied this one up with a lot of time left to go in the second half. A lot of pressure being brought from Mount St. Joseph, despite the only goal being a penalty. A lot more offensive attacks here from the Lions as they try to tie this one up. And now corner opportunity here. Sends it in. Franklin gets a head on it, and now bouncing between a lot of different guys. Franklin gets the head on it after Mount St. Joseph player runs into the referee. And now Sasso's got it. Kicks it back to Tong. And that one gets launched to the goalkeeper on the opposite side. Silva will roll that one out to Pereira. And now Mount St. Joseph on the reply. Going in for a goal, no good. Good save from Hami Silva once again. Ball still in play. Franklin has possession. And they get it up. And they try to get it to Theo Sasso. Was wide open on a through ball earlier, but they didn't see him. Play ended up getting delayed now. Mount St. Joseph kind of passing the ball around the back a little bit. Lane Trump trying to get involved here on the defense. And now Franklin gets their chest on it as send this one away. Number 19 from Mount St. Joseph kicks it back to the inside. Lewis. Franklin gets it. Sasso. And now Mount St. Joseph on the reply. Going in. Silva's able to get that one on the through ball. A little too deep on that pass there. And now Silva's taking his time figuring out what he wants to do. Seems like he's going to send this one away. And he gets this one far back into the Mount St. Joseph defense. They get it up. Lane Trump. Through ball. He tries to get it to Ibala. Good interception from the defender. And now Lane Trump working on the defensive side. Brought back from the Grizzlies. Pereira up to Ibala. Ibala kicks it up. Cross in. Brought it back out from Mount St. Joseph, but Sasso's got it. Still danger here from the Grizzlies. Try to kick it back in. Good deflection, and then Mount St. Joseph will clear this one out. Franklin gets their head on it. Can't quite hold on to possession, and now Lewis moving on the inside. Throws a through ball. There's got a good opportunity for a cross here. He sends it in. Cuts inside. Silva gets his hands on it. Indecisive play from the defense. They clear it out. And it'll go out of play. Nerve-wracking defense from the Franklin Grizzlies there. Silva gets his hands on that one. Defenders struggling to clear it out, but they were able to get it out in the end. Nearly 10 minutes passed in this second half. And the Grizzlies will have the throw in here. They're still, or it'll be Mount St. Joseph on the throw in, sorry, with an opportunity on the Grizzlies goalpost. They try to kick it in, have a chance here, danger, good clear out from the Grizzlies, goes high up though. Ibala's not able to get his body on it. Lewis in a mix of blue, and Ibala tries to clear it out and goes off the defender's head. Mount St. Joseph doing everything they can to keep it on Franklin's side of the field. Now Sasso nearly a chance to take it on the reply. Not quite able to get there. And they're going to call foul. And a little bit of frustration now going on between some of the players. It's number 7, Sasso, and a near opportunity from the Mount St. Joseph offense. And the Grizzlies are just able to get away with no goal there. And now 2-1 still. Mount St. Joseph knocking on the door. And yeah, still Theo Sasso and Eric Pfeiffer having a lot of discourse here on the field right now. Pfeiffer is able to get it out to Tong. Tong moving in field. And that one gets kicked out. Ibala. Ibala on the edge. On the wing, trying to get around his defender, and he nearly does. He still has the ball, but it goes out of play. Very close play from Ibala, but good play by the defender, and now Mount St. Joseph will retain possession, nearly loses it. And defensive play from Ibala is now Mount St. Joseph has to throw it back in. Pereira gets there, gets his head on it, and that will go out of play once again. Another throw in for Mount St. Joseph. Figuring out where to go with it. Mount St. Joseph. Franklin gets ahead on it. High clear out. Doesn't really get much on it. And that will go out of play. And Grizzlies will get the throw in here. .33 minutes left to play in the second half. A lot of defensive pressure now from the Lions. Franklin retains possession, but another throw in. They get ahead on it. Franklin just kind of sends this one out to the other side of the field. Clears it out. Mount St. Joseph really trying to keep possession control on Franklin's side of the field. That's how they got in position for that penalty. Looking to create some aggressive position here. Now Mount St. Joseph actually throwing this one in. Franklin trying to clear it out. Trump, player falls down near him. Another deflection from Pereira. And now Theo Sasso goes down, and they're going to call a foul there on Mount St. Joseph. A lot of physical contact. Definitely some frustration on both sides on the field there. You're starting to hear some of the guys on the field now. Now Franklin on the free kick. Gets it out. Pfeiffer. Sasso begging for the ball. And he just kicks this one out. And Sasso showing some frustration once again. And now Mount St. Joseph gets the reply, but good pass inside from Sasso. Goes off the head of the Mount St. Joseph player. Ibala was waiting for the ball a little bit there. Now Mount St. Joseph, an opportunity. Falls out. It'll be a throw in here for the Lions. And he looks like he's going to kick this ball here. Cross in opportunity now. Let's see if Mount St. Joseph can take advantage of it. Nothing much on it, but does get to the outside. Still dangerous positioning here. Kicks it in, but it goes out. Hits the side of the net. Now Silva will be able to kick this one away. 60 minutes gone, 30 to go in this second half. And now Pereira frustrated. There's no call there. And now to go out of play, and now St. Joseph looks like they have a corner here. A lot of Franklin players really watching the ref. I see a lot of hands going up after calls. Let's see if Mount St. Joseph can catch him sleeping. Mount St. Joseph launches this one in, a header. Gets close, but Silva keeps it safe. And this one will be another goal kick. So Mount St. Joseph definitely picking up the offensive pressure this half. Franklin being much more on the defensive, having to defend their goal much more. Mount St. Joseph has been much better with possession this half so far. 11 total shots in today's match. Only one of them going in, and that one was actually a penalty. A lot of physical contact going on. Grizzlies keep playing. They have ball. Lane Trump, a lot of room now, and he tries to get it to Sasso. Sasso kicks it away. It was a short ball from Trump that wasn't able to get over there. And now Tong misses it. Lead wide open with the goal. Lewis misses it. And Mount St. Joseph, that one will go out of play. And so they're saying that Franklin touched it. So Hami Silva must have got a hand on that one. On the goal attempt earlier. Or maybe a defender did. It was Brennan Lewis who was through on goal, the freshman, who had a chance there to tie it up. But now a corner opportunity here. Launches this one in. Kicks it away, misses it on the head. Still an opportunity here, but that one goes out. Looked for another cross opportunity, just missed it on the kick. And now Hami Silva gets another one to kick away.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that kid's not bond yet.
Silva launches this one away. Franklin gets ahead on it. High clear out, and that one will go out of play. And Sasso will get the chance to throw this one in. And Lane gets bumped out of the way on that play. Sasso able to get a foot on it. Remains possession. Ibala trips over. Grizzlies offense not quite able to get through yet in the second half. And now we get a substitution here for the Grizzlies. Yep, and then Theo Sasso is going to come off the pitch. A lot of frustration coming from the senior who had that amazing strike earlier. Now number 21 will come on for Franklin. That'll be Ali Almolim, sorry. Now the clock stopped. 25 minutes left to play in today's match. And now we'll get a player to kick this one away from Mount St. Joseph. Pereira bodies a man and gets his head on it. And now Ibala trying to keep it in play, but it goes out, and Mount St. Joseph says they have it, and they do. And now they're trying to hurry it up here, push this offense. Tong gets a foot on it. 19 has it on the outside. Some danger here for the Grizzlies. Gets past Silva, and that's a goal! Mount St. Joseph, number 9, Mohit Nathre, scores it for the Lions, and we have a tie game. 2 apiece now for both teams. Franklin's defense being pushed very far back this half.
All you gotta do is finish.
And now 2 apiece. Franklin looking for their second win on the year. The offense, a little bit of momentum here. Ball being moved around well. And that ball goes deep through. And that was Alarcon who went down, rolled over. He wanted a call, no call. And now will be a goal kick here from Mount St. Joseph. And Pereira heads this one away. Franklin really trying to put their team on the offensive here. They need to change the tides, as now Silva getting to the corner as a potential corner opportunity, cross opportunity here for Mount St. Joseph. They have a chance, but they're saying it went out of play. And it'll be a goal kick here. And for Mount St. Joseph, Braden Buckner heads off the field. Eric Slavey comes onto the field. And now they're going to send this one away. Lane Trump had a chance on it. Goalkeeper's backing up, but he's going to be able to get to that one pretty easily. Carson Sabers from Hamilton, Ohio, launches this one. But it will go out of play, and we'll get a throw in here from the Grizzlies. Tong's going to throw this one in. Franklin's able to keep it in play, but they lose it. Now Mount St. Joseph with possession. Pereira is going to get to it first, but a lot of pressure here from Braden Lewis. Oh, it gets away now. It's going to be out of play. Mount St. Joseph's got a really good opportunity here for a throw-in. And now Mount St. Joseph moving inside. Pereira nearly gets a header on it, but Alarcaz having to be the one who saves the play. And now Ibala hits his foot and goes out. Mount St. Joseph another opportunity. And back to the play. That one went out of play there, and now Mount St. Joseph will get the throw in. Deep throw in here from Mount St. Joseph. Pereira gets a header on it, and that'll go out the back. It'll be another corner here from Mount St. Joseph, just on the opposite side. Or they actually put it on the wrong side, but I guess we're going to get it over that way. Same side corner here now from Mount St. Joseph. Presley Boyle. Looking to cross this one in. The lefty sends it in. Nearly gets a head on it. It's going to go out the back, and this one will head Franklin's way. Well, we're over 70 minutes down, less than 20 to go in today's match. Now tied 2 apiece. Franklin scored 2 in the first. Mount St. Joseph now scored 2 in the second. We've got one that's going to come down to the wires. Now the Grizzlies retain possession. Now Franklin bounces it inside. And that's 21. He kicks it far, but it's going to go out to the goalkeeper, who's going to kick this one away. Franklin gets it back. Ibala gets near it, but doesn't end up getting onto, I believe it's Pfeiffer who gets it. And that ball gets kicked far out from Mount St. Joseph, but the referee will rule it out of play, and that will go to Franklin. Franklin being a little more on the offensive since the last goal from the Lions, but a big change in momentum and pace, though, this game. And now Pereira gets another header on it. Now St. Joseph replies. And a challenge from the Grizzlies, and they're able to get the ball back. And now they launch this one ahead. Pfeiffer gets around, has some space, works from it, falls down, takes contact, and referee will stop it there. Alarcaz launches this one in. It's going to go a little too far. Pereira's not able to get his head on it. Now Mount St. Joseph's got a goal kick here.
Who came in? Who came in?
I'm looking for his number right now. It was about John.
And now Franklin
20.
Pereira with another header.
The 23.
Gives a short pass to kind of clear it out, but Mount St. Joseph retains. And a foul in the play ran right through the Franklin player, trying to show the mark to the ref.
I think 3. Was he in?
3's right next to 23.
Oh, he's not.
And we got a couple substitutions, it seemed, from Mount St. Joseph, and now Franklin. Ball goes backwards. A lot of pressure now coming from Mount St. Joseph. They got to get this one out. Oh, he sends it away, and now Mount St. Joseph has the opportunity for a goal! A huge error from Javi Silva, kicking it right to the Mount St. Joseph player. And the Lions now, after being down 2-0 in the first 6 minutes, have taken the lead back.
You gotta jump on that.
After what was a flawless first half for Javi Silva, a penalty, a goal, and now a huge error, which has allowed Mount St. Joseph to take the lead. 15:53 remains in the second half, and Franklin needs a goal in order to potentially force a tie. And now Mount St. Joseph trying to push offensively. Franklin needing a momentum shifter here. Sasso's back on the field. He takes a tumble in the chase down for that ball. And now Mount St. Joseph will try and clear that one out, but it hits the Franklin defender and will be Lions possession. Alarcaz gets a head on it, but it goes right back out now. And Mount St. Joseph will throw this one right back in. 15 minutes remain in today's matches of what we had a double header. The women's team playing first, now the men's team with just 15 minutes to go, up 2-0 early in the match, now down 3-2. Mount St. Joseph is okay with this. They're the ones running time off the clock currently. Letting it wind down and remain with a high pressure offense. And it goes out of play once again from Franklin. Continuously clearing out but giving Mount St. Joseph possession back. Has really stalled out the Grizzlies' offense. And that one goes right back out. And another opportunity, but Silva will get his hands on that one this time. That one gets kicked up after the goal kick from Silva, and now Franklin trying to get ahead on it. They have an opportunity here on the run. 21 gets tripped over on the challenge, and they'll stop play for that one. Was a very close challenge. And the ref made sure they have to get it over there. Now the free kick will happen. Franklin really trying to make it work here. Have a little bit of space. Sasso on the outside. Ball's a little too much. And now a lot of frustration. And now we'll get a substitution. Looks to be Lane Trump coming onto the field for number 21 for the Grizzlies. Ali Almolem, who will come off. And now that one will go out of play after the kick from Tong. Grizzlies offense at a standstill. Mount St. Joseph looking to keep the pressure, even with the lead. And now we'll get a substitution from Mount St. Joseph. Player goes down, but no call on the play. And now Tong trying to throw this one in. And they get this one deep to Flores. Goes out of play. Not a good through ball there. Now Mount St. Joseph gets the throw in. This is on their own side of the pitch though. So need to get a smart play as now Franklin looks to steal it back. Flores kicks it back inside. That's number 10, that's Bilovic. Outside. Alarcaz. Sasso crosses it in. Header by the Lions. Kicks it into Trump. Trump with a little bit of space here. A little too far out. Now Tong kicks it outside. Flores. Franklin really just trying to keep possession here. Give themselves a chance as Trump goes down. Physical play. Player didn't love the call, of course, but trying to tell him where to put the ball, and we can get this free kick underway. As now Trump has some potential here for a free kick. He'll give it to Sasso, who hit a strike from about this far out early in the match. As the train comes by with just 11 minutes to go, Sasso tries to get this one into the bottom right corner of the net, but it just rolls outside. And now it'll be a goal kick here. Just over 10 minutes to play.
9 just came in for 8 for goal.
And we get the iconic train right by Fott Stadium rolling by.
So this guy is right here, 5.
I think they had to reset the clock because of they stopped the play due, not sure exactly why, but the clock was running, and so they ended up having to stop play and fix it. But we're back, and after that, Lane Trump got his head on it from the goal kick, but now Mount St. Joseph will gain possession.
Hey, the coaches getting hot down there by the clock on our side. It's costing them seconds when they call the stop. And watch for the ref to cross his arm.
And now Flores with an opportunity. Back heel. Ball gets taken away. Under 10 minutes left to play. 80 gone. Franklin needs a goal in order to tie this thing up. 3-2 Lions. And they get this one over to the opposite side of the pitch to Sasso, but it's going to be rolled away. But now Alarcaz with an opportunity in the corner here. He crosses it in. Trump bounces inside, kicks it. Oh! What a shot! And that was Lucas Flores. What an unbelievable goal from an impossible angle. Lucas Flores in traffic finishes it. and ties it at 3 apiece with under 10 minutes left to play. And now Mount St. Joseph with a little bit of pressure on them if they want to have a chance to come out with a victory. And a really good ball down the pitch, but Silva ends up with it. 9 minutes left to play. Both teams need a goal now to win. Sasso gets it up. There's a lot of space here. Trump kicks it inside. Nothing really there as it goes right to the goalkeeper. And now he's going to send this one away, and Franklin's going to look to get ahead on it. It's a good ball, but Trump is able to get to it. And he loses sight. Mount St. Joseph has the ball now. That's 7. Now there's number 9. Napfrey, who had the goal earlier. Good challenge from the Grizzlies. Number 10, Bill Levesque, with an unbelievable tackle to change possession. 8 minutes remain. Tensions are getting high. And that one gets launched away. Franklin needs to get to it, give it to their keeper, and they will. And he tries to get it up to Flores, who had the goal earlier. He really wants it ahead. He's really hoping for a through ball here. It's what he's asking for. And they're looking for him. Trump, back heel to Flores. And that one gets kicked out. It'll be Grizzly on the throw-in. 7 minutes left to play now. We've got a close one, folks. Stay tuned in as now Grizzlies try to keep possession, nearly lose it. Bill Levesque kicks it out. Trump. Lane has an opportunity, creates some space around the defender. Kicks it out back. Franklin taking a little bit of their time. Sasso bounces it in. A little too much on the pass there. He's able to get back to it on the challenge. And they deem it dirty. On the slide, very, very close. Now a player down, and we're going to get a stoppage of play. Player down for Mount St. Joseph. 6:30 left to play. Tied at 3 apiece. We'll be right back. And we're back as Michael Smith got up, walked off the field, and now we'll move on to play. 6:30 exactly left on the clock. What a match we have had today in the men's game. And Pereira nearly got his head on it, but Mount St. Joseph had an opportunity. But Silva was able to save it, and now Franklin looking to push the pace a little bit here. They try to get it to Flores. Good ball. Flores has a chance on it here. Good defense. And they're going to clear this one away, but Franklin will get it back. Flores tries to get ahead on it. Doesn't quite, so it'll be Grizzly possession here on the throw-in. It's Mason Tolliver, the freshman, throwing it in. And they kick this one outside. And that one's going to get to Sasso. Sasso moving on the outside. He's got speed. He's got room. Player goes down, and they're going to call him for a foul. And now Mount St. Joseph is hurrying on the return. They have an opportunity. They have space here as well. And they have the numbers game. Or they did. The Franklin defense replying now. They try to clear this one out. It goes high. And there's Tolliver. Kicks it out. And that's a challenge there. Trump. And now another player down on the other side of the pitch. 5 minutes left. We'll be right back. And that was number 15, Jacobo Alcaron, who came up okay, but was the reason for the break. And now 5 minutes remain. In this match. 2 early goals for the Grizzlies. A strike from Sasso. Now they're going to kick this one. Trump potentially looking for the corner, but it's too far out of a pass. He was looking to cross it inside there to either Flores or potentially somebody else, maybe Sasso. But now 4:40 remain in the match, and Mount St. Joseph kicks this one out. They roll it. Now they launch it down the pitch. Good ball. Sasso tries to get around to her. It's not Sasso. Sorry, the defender. Mount St. Joseph has an opportunity on the corner here. Looking for a cross in. Now back in the middle of the field. A little bit of danger, but too much on the kick. Off angle, and now Silva will get a chance here. 4 minutes remain in today's match. Grizzlies, both teams looking for a win. And that one's going to go right out. Trump tried to keep it in. And a player goes down, no call, but now Mount St. Joseph in the middle of the field with the ball, with space. Ooh, number 9 for Mount St. Joseph, Mohit Nafre, who had the goal earlier for Mount St. Joseph. Launched one at Silva, but Silva was able to get his hands on it quickly. And now Franklin, just over 3 minutes left to play. Sasso kicks it in field. They go deep. Oh, there's a chance to Flores in on the field goal. He kicks it in. And they're saying he was offside. He scored the goal as well, kicking it top ends, but the goalkeeper wasn't defending because they deemed it offsides. Flores not happy with that call. But a really close one for Franklin and Mount St. Joseph. And now 3 minutes and ticking. They kick it up. They're trying to get a shot right away. Silva does not touch it. It goes out just to the left of the goalpost. And now Silva will get to throw this one away. 2.5 minutes remain. Silva taking his time on this kick. Nafre ends up with it. He kicks it far. A chance here! From St. Joseph to potentially seal it in the final minutes! Silva comes out of his goal. Mount St. Joseph had the opportunity. Franklin defender could not get to it. And now the Lions lead 4-3 with just over 2 minutes left to play on what might be the game-sealing goal, unless Franklin has anything to say about it. Huge celebrations already came on the sideline from the Mount St. Joseph Lions in what has been a phenomenal match today from both teams.
Hey, keep possession. Keep possession.
Yep, he's out. Yellow did, yeah.
And now as we wait, as substitutions come on and off the pitch, Lane Trump is ready to kick us off for Franklin to see if they can reply and maybe come out of here with a tie against the Mount St. Joseph Lions, or if the Lions will walk away and will take their ride back down to Cincinnati with a win. So an unbelievable match today in the men's game. Franklin, 2 early goals in the first 6 minutes of play. Then it goes to 2-0 at the end of the first half. Mount St. Joseph replies in the first 10 minutes and scores. And now Franklin's going to launch this one down the pitch to Pereira, who loses it after getting his foot on it. And now this ball will go out of play here. 2 minutes left to play. And after Mount St. Joseph got a penalty and scored a goal, tied it up at 2 apiece, took a 3-2 lead, then Franklin and Lucas Flores had the huge goal to tie it up, and now after that amazing goal from Mount St. Joseph, a 4-3 lead is being held for them. 1:40 left. Franklin hoping for a miracle. Now a lot of defensive pressure coming. They get it up to Sasso at about the middle of the pitch. He kicks up a through ball. Franklin has a little bit of an opportunity. Tries to get it to Flores. Gets kicked out. 1:20 left. Franklin still has possession. Far side of the pitch. Mount St. Joseph gets a head on it. Flores ends up with it. Flores, who ends up there was a foul on the play, and a Mount St. Joseph player went down, but Flores took some contact offensively, so I'm interested to see what they end up determining this. This is. Now the referee giving a stern talking to Lucas Flores. But it seems that he's going to get the free kick here. And now Flores, who hit the last goal for Franklin, 1 minute left. A free kick opportunity here with potential dangerous positioning. Ref's still waiting to clock goes. Flores up, and it hits the side of the net. Very close, but just a little too much to the left. And now as the minute ticks off, the train comes back. And Mount St. Joseph is looking to seal this one away. 45 seconds. Franklin needs a miracle. And they kick this one far out. It goes out of play. 30 seconds. And it's going to throw in. Franklin throws it in far. Now St. Joseph gets a head on it. And now Flores, 17, tries to kick it to Trump, who isn't able to get on it. Now 4 seconds, and they're going to launch this one. And Mount St. Joseph now, 5 seconds. And Mount St. Joseph gets a head on it, and that will be it. The Mount St. Joseph Lions win in an absolute slugfest between both teams, going back and forth. Franklin starts out with a 2-0 lead in the first half, first 6 minutes. Mount St. Joseph comes back in the second half and scores 4 goals to 1 and ends up winning the match in today's doubleheader. So Franklin comes out 0-2 in today's doubleheader here at home against Mount St. Joseph. Mount St. Joseph 2-0 after the women's game, which ended in 6-0 for Mount St. Joseph, and then 4-3, a much closer match in the men's game. Mount St. Joseph now moves to 3-6-2 on the season, 2-2 on the road, and then Franklin moves now down to 1-9 on the year, 1-3 on at home after today's fourth home setting. So thank you everybody for tuning in for today's doubleheader of Mount St. Joseph Soccer versus Franklin College Soccer. Thank you everybody for watching Grizz TV. Have a great rest of your evening and good night.